What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be testing out the Newport NK180 PRO mounted on the Old Town BigWater 132. Quite a mouthful, I know it, but we are going to hop right into the setup and then we're going to do an on the water test. Let's get it. All right, similar setup to our Outback. If you've seen that video, then you're familiar with kind of how I have it configured. If not, I'll do a quick overview and kind of explain the differences of how I have it set up on the Old Town versus the Hobie. Apologize for the wind noise, it's windy today. All right, so we'll start back here at the mount because the mount is kind of what makes this whole system plausible. So with all the different mounting options on the market for the Newport, the reason I decided to go with this system is for two main reasons. One, I already had the Newport NK180 trolling motor, so all I had to do was get them to send me another mount, pop that on here, and we're good to go. I also wanted dual redundancy of both propulsion systems. I wanted to continue to be able to use the pedal drive as well as have a electric power option. So this is what we went with. If you're interested in getting one of these mounts, contact Nick at Navarre Kayak Fishing. If you have any questions, he's more than happy to answer. Great dude. If you call him, it actually goes straight to his personal cell phone and he'll answer any of your questions. He makes a left hand and a right hand. He actually sent me the right hand, but I prefer a left hand just to keep it consistent with how I have my other kayaks set up. He also fabricates all kinds of other components for the Old Town Sportsman lineup. Be sure and check him out. I know he makes a deck plate that goes in here that will block any water intrusion if you're using a motor and you don't want to have the drive in. That's something I think he's been working on. He's been with Old Town for years, has all kinds of cool stuff, but I'll link his information down below if you're interested. But back to the mount, it has a nice cutout here for the rudder to lay when it's in the retrieved position. It also has brass inserts mounted in the mount already, and he sends you the correct hardware, so there's no gaps. It's all flush mounted, so one complete system. On that mount we have our Newport Vessels NK180 PRO mount, and then we have our Newport motor. Obviously, yes, it's got a lot of wear. I'm a heavy user. From there we've got our quick disconnect power. Moving back from there, we've got our 24 volt 50 amp hour Newport lithium battery. This is an awesome cell. I've run this thing really hard. I don't think I've ever got it below 40%, and I've ran it all day. This is an excellent power source. Coming up from there, we've got our throttle control right next to our seat, and we've got that mounted on a QD mount by Yak Attack. We do have a pulley lanyard for raising and lowering the motor, and we've got that going into a spring-loaded cleat. All you do is pull the motor up, lock it into the cleat, and it stays. Really solid, robust unit. Locks the motor up in the flush position so you can get really shallow if you need to, and then you can just put it back down. All right, we'll do one quick final walk around and then we'll head out on the water for the on the water test. All right, let's get it launched, head out on the water and test some of the parameters. All right, we're out on the water. We're all set up. We got the motor attached. Everything is rigged. Pull lanyard, power controls, got the GPS ready. We're gonna start out with the drive installed just to see how that does. Normal rudder steering. If I need to switch to the S&J steer stick, I will, but I want to try it under normal conditions. Let's kick it into gear and see what kind of speeds we get. That's 50%. We'll let it kind of catch up and get up to speed here. I'm noticing right away that I'm hearing some chatter from the prop, so right away I'm sure my prop should be lowered just a little bit from where it sits on the Hobie. Well, we're cruising along right at 2. I'm just going to go ahead and kick it into 100% here and kind of see what we get at max throttle. We just hit 6, we're cruising at 5. It's kind of jumping all over the place. Looks like we're hanging right around 5 miles per hour, which this is a bigger hull, so I would expect that it would be slightly slower than the Outback. And I wonder if this prop is increasing the drag at all. We're going to pull the PDL drive out and see if we can get a little bit faster speeds with the drive out. Now I'm sure a lot of water is going to come rushing in, so at what expense do you want that extra speed? But we will try it since we're out here. I got dolphins working up ahead. Looks like they're blowing up on redfish or something. I didn't bring any rods with me today. This is purely for testing purposes, so we'll check it out. Oh yeah, here's the dolphins. Those dolphins love chasing down the kayaks. Something about the wake. See, I'm feeling like a... There's the dolphins. I'm feeling a little porpoising in the propellers constantly coming out of the water. I definitely could have lowered it a little bit more for this particular kayak. The thing I like about this hull is it just eats chop. It's got a really nice hull design. It plows off the water, so even in choppy conditions, as you're powering through, you stay completely dry. This is an exceptional hull design, which is one of the reasons I wanted to motorize it. Again, right into the chop, we're cruising around at right about 5 miles an hour. So for a full-size kayak, that's really a good speed. All right, we maintained about 5 miles an hour with the drive out. I know we're gonna get some water intrusion. How much, I don't know, but I wanna see the speed and how much water we get coming through on the deck with the drive out. So that's what we're gonna test now. Got our speedometer up, running. We're at 80%, about 300 watts of power, and we're getting about 4 miles an hour. And again, I'm sure I could lower that prop and get a little bit better speeds because I do hear it kissing up and in out of the water. All right, let's go ahead and kick it into full power here. Pretty close to the same speed. We're getting a little bit faster. We're getting about 5.3, almost 5.5, 5.4. Holding about 5.4 at max throttle, and that's about 500 watts of power. Kind of jumping because that motor's coming in and out of the water. You can see the water intrusion coming in. It's actually not bad. Have a little splash, moves around and it goes through the scuppers. Not bad, not bad at all. There's dolphins again. All right, let's test the maneuverability. We're gonna go full hard rudder off the left and see how good we return. Now, one other thing I want to check while I'm doing this test is if the propeller will impact the rudder, because it's offset and it sticks out a little bit. If that rudder relaxes itself and swings backward just a hair, it's really close to that prop line. So it has a pretty standard turn radius, about what you'd expect with the pedal drive installed. Actually, what we'll do now is put the pedal drive back in, since the speeds are pretty close to the same and we get less water intrusion, and we'll see if the resistance of the drive actually causes us to turn a little bit sharper. Pretty good turn radius. Another thing you can do if you need to turn in a hurry is you can dig your paddle down and create some extra drag, and it'll kick that rear end over in a hurry. You can turn a little bit faster, actually quite a bit faster. All right, we're gonna try the other way just to see if there's any difference. I doubt there will be much. You can hear that prop coming out of the water when I turn. Not bad though. No contacting, no rubbing. Gets about 5 miles an hour for a full-size kayak. That's really good parameters, especially with the NK180. It's the lighter setup of the electric outboards. I am really pleased. Just kind of cruise around for a little bit, see if we feel out any anomalies. If I need to pull it up, I've got this spring-loaded cleat here where I could run this 550 pull lanyard through it and it'll just catch. The NK180, as you know, super light. It takes nothing to lift and lower. Go ahead and pull it up. We'll lock it in there. Bam. That ain't going nowhere. You have to pull that out and release it. For a full-size kayak and an NK180 Pro, 5 miles an hour is impeccable speed. I'm really happy with this setup. And I have the comfort of knowing if I need to use my pedal drive, I can use it uninhibited from the motor. All I have to do is pull the ripcord, get the motor out of the way, and we're back to the conventional drive. So that's pretty cool. So dual redundant system. I like to cover a lot of water. I like to get away from the pack. I'll go several miles a lot of times before I even begin fishing. So that's good to know. It's a good comfort factor to know that I can have a dual redundant system. Well, I'm really pleased with the speed, the maneuverability, the redundancy, the dual propulsion system. I can use the PDL drive as well as the motor to fish, get where I need to go. I have conventional steering, not a whole lot of gadgets to get tangled up or get fouled up. A good little setup. 5 miles an hour is plenty for this full-size kayak. Really happy with it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, be sure to answer those. And we're out of here. We'll catch you guys on the next one.